Okay, so good afternoon, guys. Let's start the lecture on bitwise operators. So, so first question. So first things first. So as you can see in the comments here, I will be discussing these four operators today. So these operators fall under the operators class, right? Just like you have, just like you have plus, into, divide, and then the other operators, right? So similar to that, equal to, double equal to. Similar to that, bitwise operators are also operators, just like any other operators, but they do, but they, but they have some special. I mean, as in they do some special stuff, which yeah, they are not one important difference between numeric operator and this bitwise operators is you can have unary operators here. For example, I'll come to that. Let's not go there directly. But yeah, but bitwise operators fall in the same operators class, which we have been seeing in the discussions that we are having over this duration of this course. So today I will be discussing these operators, these four operators primarily. Okay, so let's do some stuff, or rather, let's write some programs. Okay, you guys know I always start from the very basic, right? So no surprises here. So what will you get? You will get the number 2, right? Okay. Okay. So going back to our discussions on how many students have joined in, by the way, still 166. Anyways, forget it. Yeah. So going back to our discussions on data types, how many bytes does this variable x occupy in your program's memory? 4 bytes. Yeah. So when I printed the value of x, what did I see? I saw the value 2. Why did I see the value 2? Because but it was 4 different bytes, right? Placed one after another. When I used x with a percentile d, what happened was the entire 4 bytes was interpreted as an integer and printed onto the screen by the printf function. But in reality, in hardware, in your memory, x is stored as 4 different bytes. Now, can anyone tell me how do I get hold of the individual bytes that makes up the variable x? Because we clearly know that there are 4 bytes, right? So let me just write it like byte 0, byte 1, byte 2, and byte 3. So all these bytes combined form x. And that's what I did there, right? When I printed x, all the 4 bytes were interpreted together and it gave me a value of 2. Okay, so now I'll come to the binary representation. But before that, I want to break the 4 byte, right? 4 byte chunk. You could call it a 4 byte chunk, which at from the perspective of just the single line program, it looks unbreakable, right? So because whenever I use x, I will always be accessing all the 4 bytes at one go. So there is nothing like I could do x0 to access the byte 0, x1 to access the byte 1, x2 to access the byte 2. There is no provision for me to do that, right? There's no way in which I could go inside individual bytes. But now I want to do that. How can I do that? Yes, yes, pointers is the way to do that. So let's say, yeah, you are correct. Balam, yeah, Balam Krishna. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So let's do that then. So let's take pointer x. How do I access the address of x? You guys must know this by now. And x, right? And if I increment it by 1, what do I get? Yes. So yeah, so let's not to confuse you guys. So let's first create a pointer here, integer pointer, right? I need an integer pointer, and then I will point it to the address of X. This line here gave me a handle on the starting byte of X, the starting byte. Cool. Now, if I want to go to the second value, right? If I want to go to the second, not second value, sorry, I want to go past the first address of X, right? Then what do? I just say P plus 1. Fine, that's what I do. Okay. And how do I get the value? How do I get the value of the pointer? Yes. I hope it is making sense to everyone because we have discussed all this before at depths. Okay. So if I do this, what would I get? Okay, before that, let's do one thing, guys. Let's do one thing. So let us write a number in which I want you guys to work out the contents of the byte. So 2 is not a good example actually. So let us use what to say. Let us use 5. Uh, sorry, 128 is okay. Fine. Let us use 300. The number 300. Okay. So can you tell me, guys, what are the values of what is the binary value of 300? I think it will take you time for that. Let me just do it here. Decimal to binary. So what is our decimal? 300, right? Okay. So this is our binary, right? So now I want you guys to think of this number as 4 different bytes. So what would be the value of each byte? Tell me. If I think of this value as 4 different bytes, right? Remember, 4 different bytes. This is the entire number actually, 300. But then the 300 is stored as an integer, right? Integer across 4 bytes. So if I have to write it as 4 different bytes, first of all, what should be its length? How many bits should be there in this number? There should be 32 bits. Yeah. So just put zeros at the beginning. So let me just say, just take this value and put zeros to the left here, and then take chunks, take eight bits together and give me the value of the bytes. Can someone do that? See, all I'm asking you is take this value as it is, these bits, and then append zeros in the zeros to the left so that you get a 32-bit value, right? 32 bits you get. And then divide those 32 bits into chunks of 888 and give me that value of those bytes. Oh, fine, it's there already. Good. But yeah, but this is the hex representation, right? It is giving you these two values make 1 byte. It's in 4, right? It's in 4. It's not in 8s. It's in 4s. Okay, if that is too tough for you, let me do that then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the first 8 bytes, right? So what is this value now? Yeah. Okay, are you sure it's 00144, right? Good. So let us note this down. 00144. I hope it's 44. You have calculated it, right, Srijan, correctly? Yes. No, Aditya, it cannot be 256 because this does not belong to this byte, right? This will go to the next byte, the 0th location of the next byte. This one will go to the first position of the next byte. So that's why it will be 1. And these bits here make the first byte, right? So that's why it's 44. Good. So let us just write this value here. Write these values here. Sorry. So byte 0 contains 44. Byte 1, it contains 1. Byte 2, it contains 0. Byte 3, it contains 0. Right, good. So this is what X looks like in memory. Now I want to, so now I want to go from the first byte, right? So let's just print the value of the first byte and see what do we get. Right? How do you print the value of the first byte? Is there a way to do that? There's a question mark. Jay has say, yeah. So Pranjali is saying star P with a question mark. That's correct. We cannot be sure. Let's check it out first. Let's check it out. It's not going to go, it's never going to give us the value 44. For that matter, for the people who are saying that a p plus 1 will give us the value of the second byte, they are also wrong here. See, if I do this also, I will not get the second byte value. I'll tell you what I will get. I'll tell you what I'll get. Wait. I will get 1, but this is not correct. I know as per this example, this is working, but this is not correct. Yeah, we'll get something weird basically. So yeah, so what is happening is I'll tell you. Exactly. See, what is happening is whenever you are using an integer pointer, right? Remember when you are using an integer pointer and then you are trying, so what does this star operator tell you? Star operator will try to give you the value pointed to by the value at that address pointed to by that pointer, right? So the star operator will also take into consideration what kind of value was it pointing to. If it is pointing to an integer, that means it will take all the 4 bytes following from that following that address, and then you will get that value. It cannot just break into bytes because the pointer type was integer pointer. Exactly. Do you understand, guys, why this pointer p is not going to give us the value of the first byte? Because the value will be interpreted as an integer. It will not be interpreted as 1 byte value now. It will take all the 4 bytes starting from that address. It will give you the address. There's no issues with that. But then when you want to when you want to get the value, it will not give you the value stored at that address only. It will give you the value stored at the next 3 address collected together with that address, because it was an integer pointer to begin with. It reads in intervals of 4. Yeah, it reads in intervals of 4, to put it simply. Good. So how do we make that change now? How do we go beyond this? I mean, we don't want all the 4 bytes together, right? That's what our problem was. So the only thing is we have to use a data type. We have to point a pointer to this address, which is of 1 byte size. The pointer should point to 1 byte data types. What is that pointer which points to 1 byte data types? Exactly. It's a character pointer. Guys, this is a very important trick that I'm teaching you. So just pay attention to it. Yeah. So then why did I use character pointer? Because I know that character pointer points to 1 byte data types. So if I'm using this now here by using it as a character, that means it will give me the address of the value of the first byte. It will not go beyond the first byte because the pointer itself is pointing to one byte data. I mean the address which will give me 1 byte of data. But there is an issue here. This will not work. Why? Because on the right hand side, what kind of pointer do you have? This is an address of what? This is an address of an integer, right? It is not the address of a character. So here you have to do a typecast. Exactly. So now this address that was supposed to be an integer would be treated as a character, would be taken as a address of a byte instead of an address of a character, just because I have used a casting operator here. Exactly. Now let us print the value of p and verify what are we getting here. See, we are getting 44. Is this clear to everyone, guys?
Sir?
It's a very important trick. This is how you can iterate through byte in a data type. Yes, tell me.
So why is it storing the number in reverse? Shouldn't the first two bytes be 0 and then 1 and 44?
First 2 bytes. Oh, okay. For you are saying the first 2 bytes should be 0, and then the third byte will be 1, last byte will be 44, right?
Yes, sir.
That's what you were saying. Yeah, that's a very basic doubt. See, this thing that got printed here, right? This is from MSB to LSB. See, this is the byte 0, because your data would be stored. How do you write whenever I ask you to write a binary representation of a number? How do you write? You write from LSB to MSB, right? LSB stands for lowest significant bit and MSB for most significant bit. If I ask you to write the bit representation of, let's say, 6, how do you write 6? You write 0, 1, 1, 0, right? So what is the bit representation of 6? 6 is, sorry, 6 is 0, 1, 1, 0, right? So that means this is the LSB and this is the MSB. Actually, the thing is the same here, but then it's just printed in the it is just printed in the reverse way. So this is the LSB here. So you have to read this number from this side. So it is 0, 1. It is bit 0, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3, bit 4, bit 5, bit 6, bit 7, bit 8. Do you get it?
Actually, no.
Yeah, I'll explain you. So if I ask you to write the bit representation of a number, how do you write it in your paper? Tell me.
So I mean, like we start from the like the leftmost will be the highest power of 2, right?
Okay, so you are taking in that way. It's just a convention. So let's say now I have asked you to write the bit representation of 66. How do you write that? In 8 bits.
So
You
64.
write 0, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 1, 0, right? This is 6, right? Okay. This is how you will write in your paper, right? So this value here. So if I just index the bits here, so this bit here is the highest bit, right? Highest power of 2, and this bit is the lowest power of 2.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now in your machine's memory, how does a multi-byte data type is stored? How is a multi-byte data type stored? It is always stored from the lowest byte, then the next lowest byte, then the next lowest byte, and then the highest byte. So that means if the address starts from, let's say, address 100, in the 100th position you will have the lowest byte, right? So clearly now there are 4 bytes, right? Because it's just 1 byte number, that's why we have written it like this. But if it was a multi-byte number, right, if 6 would have been actually stored in an integer, then how would your number would look like? It would have looked something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? This is how 6 would have looked if it was actually stored in an integer. But don't think that this is the highest order byte. The highest order byte would be stored at at the starting address of that integer. The starting address of the integer would hold this byte. That is the lowest order byte. The next address would hold this one, followed by this one, and finally this one.
So is it like just a
It's a convention. It's a convention.
okay.
Because your machine has to agree on some order, right, in which it is stored. There is I didn't want to use the word, so just remember this. So this is called Little Endian order. So this ordering of bytes is called Little Endian. And there is opposite to this, the way you write it in your paper, right? You write from this side, isn't it? The highest and then go to the lowest. If it is also stored in the same way in your memory, then that is called Big Endian. So just remember this. As of now, you don't need these two things. Just remember that the lowest byte is stored at the first address. After that, the next, and then the finally the highest order.
So these are just the language conventions. The C
It's a machine convention. It's not in a language.
Okay, sir.
It's your CPU.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Since this is done, so yeah. So how do you go to the next byte now? It's the same case. I'll come to that now, Keshav. Wait, I'll come to that. So now if I do +1, which byte will I be accessing? Tell me now. Second byte, yeah. So let's see, we should get the number 1. See, we got the number 1. Good. So our theory is working. So using this small trick, you could actually go inside all the bytes that constitute your number. If you have a long int, then you could traverse 8 bytes, right? Sorry, if you have a long double or float, then you could traverse all the 8 bytes using a character pointer. Then if you go one more byte ahead, then you will go to the third byte here, right? Third byte, and then you will get a 0 finally. Yes, you will get a 0. Okay. Okay, what question did you guys have here?
So
Just tell me.
we are still using %d, so why isn't still it is going into 4 bytes?
You're using what percent?
D.
Yes, you are using %d, but then you can also use %d with a character, right? Isn't this a valid? If you have a character here, can't I use a character here?
Yes, sir.
I have.
So why isn't it happening this time that it will go to all the 4 bytes?
It will not go, right, because it will check what kind of pointer is it. It's a character pointer. It is pointing to 1 byte location. So why will it take in all the other 3 bytes? We have explicitly said, right, that because of this change here, because of this casting, p is no longer an integer pointer. P is a character pointer. So whenever I want to access the value using the star operator, I will just take in the byte that it is pointing to, present byte. I will not take its surrounding bytes, because it's pointing to a 1 byte, because the pointer is of that type. If it would have been an integer pointer, then I would have taken all the 4 bytes together.
Okay, sir.
Is it out clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And don't confuse on the percentile d, man. It's a very basic thing, because percentile d has nothing to do with what kind of data you're accessing, right? Percentile d is just that printing. This data came out to 4 bytes because the pointer was integer. Now it is coming out to 1 byte because the pointer is character. That's why. Are you good with this?
Yes, sir.
Good. I hope all of you are good with this, because this is not a simple program, guys. It involves some understanding. There are 171 of you, 30 students are still missing. I don't know why, but I hope everyone gets this. Good. Let's move on now. Someone had a question on bits. So what was that question? The question was, now Karthikeya is asking, if you want to access a single bit now instead of a byte, what do you do? That's a question there, right? If now, wait, before that, Shavak is asking if x is -300, then what does it mean? It doesn't change anything actually. If you do it to put a -300, then there would be some other representation of x in the bytes. So you will get that byte. So again, -300, I don't want to discuss this, because minus negative values are stored in something called, in some other representation. It's called 2's complement representation. So let's not go there now, because you will get to know this 2's complement when you discuss, when you have a separate course, when you have taken that computer architecture course, then you will know what is -300. So forget it as of now. It's just that -300 will have some different bit representation, and you will get different values for the 4 bytes if it would have been a -300 instead of a +300. So let's
Sir,
not. Yes.
sir, I'm not getting how are we actually writing this representation. Like I really just know the conversion that we do by writing 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, and so on. But I'm not understanding this 1001 and all this.
What are you not understanding? How did I get these 4 bytes?
Sir, how did you get that 0110?
This one. This
Sir,
one.
sir, no, the upper comment.
This one.
0110.
This is for 6, right? This is bit representation for 6.
Sir, how do we actually calculate that? I don't know that, sir.
Have you never done like a number to binary conversions in your school?
No, sir.
Oh, you have not done that.
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
haven't done that.
Okay. So okay. Yeah. I'll quickly try to. I know this might be very basic for other people, but then I have to clear his doubt as well. So just remember this one thing. So each when I say you have an 8-bit value, right?
Yes, sir.
So now I have, let's say I have put a question in front of you, and I have asked you to write the bit representation of 6 using 8 bits, right? This thing is important. Using 8 bits is important. 8, the number 8, remember. Now, how many bits are there? 8 bits are there, right? So each bit will have a value attached to it, right? So what would be that? So you just write it like this. So you say, so you have to arrange the bits, right, in some order, isn't it? So you have to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8 bits should be there. Are you with me
Yes, sir. Yes,
in
sir.
this
Yes,
point?
sir. Yes, sir.
So then you just number the bits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Since it's a, I mean, since you have to start with 0, right? Because you are inside the computer, you cannot start with 1. So that means this bit 0, right? This bit number 0, I have just indexed as bit number 0, bit number 1, bit number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 7. Each bit has a value attached to it. Now, what is that value? Bit number 0 stands for, you just write the value like below 0. So bit number 0 is 2 power 0. What is 2 power 0?
1.
1. What bit number 1 has 2 power 1? What is 2 power 1?
2.
2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Is it clear till this point?
Yes, sir.
I have not done anything. I have just taken the bits and arranged them in 0, say like a 7, and then I have given each bit a value according to its position, right? Once from starting from 1 all the way up to 128, because 128 is 2 power 7.
Okay, sir.
Right? Now I will ask you, if you want to make 6 out of these bits, which all bits should we use? What I'm asking you is, you have to form 6 out of these numbers. Which two numbers or which set of numbers should you use to create 6?
Sir, I can use 1, 2, and 3.
You can use what?
Sir, number at 0th bit. At
Sir,
first
you
bit.
actually miswrote 3. Actually, it is 8.
Sorry. It cannot be 3, right? It has to be 8, right? 2 power 3 is 8.
Sir, I can use 2 and 4.
2 and 4. You have to use 2 and 4. Is there any other way?
No, sir.
No. So that means whichever numbers you are using, just put a 1 below that. So it's 0. Are you using 1? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, are you using the number 1?
No, sir. I'm not
create
using
6,
the number
right?
1.
Are you using the number 2?
Yes, sir.
Are you using the number 4?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And you are not using these other numbers, right? So let me just write below them.
So, sir, the 6 that you have written in the previous line is the 4-bit representation of 6.
Yeah, I mean 8-bit is just like you add 4 more zeros, right? That's all. So now do you
Okay, sir. So
understand how to
basically,
type?
sir, 1 and 0 stand for if a bit is red and if a bit is not red.
Yes, I mean if you are using that bit to create that number, then if you put a 1 at its position. If you are not using that bit to create that number, then you put a 0 in that position. And
Okay, sir.
the resulting value that you get, right, by putting 1 and zeros in this fashion, that's what the bit representation of that number is.
Okay, sir. I
Right?
totally got it.
Now you get it. Now there should not be any confusion here now.
Sir, there's no confusion.
Right? So this is what 6 looks like. Good that we covered this in basics, because we are doing bits today. So I covered the basics as well. That was a good question. Yeah. So now 0, 1, 1, 0 is for this only, 0, 1, 1, 0. And why didn't I stop at 4? Because I told you to give me 8 bits, right? So that's why I have to append zeros. I mean, I have to append that many zeros to create that 8 bits. Otherwise, I don't need the extra zeros, right? Because this is enough. I mean,
sir, while writing this on paper, we'll write it in the reverse order, right?
yes, when you on paper you write it in the opposite way, as in you put the high order bits first. I mean, I have written in this fashion, right? But in paper, how do you write? Is like you write 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1 from left to right. But in computer, in your memory, actually it is stored in lower to higher, not higher to lower. In paper, you write high to low, but in your computer it's stored from low to high.
Sir, so using this, how did we calculate that byte 0, byte 1, byte 2, byte 3?
Okay.
Like byte 0 is 300 minus 2 raised to power 8.
Byte what?
Byte 0 is 300 minus 2 raised to power 8. But how did that 2 raised to power 8 came?
Okay, are you asking like how did I get these 4 values for these 4 bytes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll come to that now. Yeah. So 300, if you write 300 in binary, that's what I have wrote here. This is how 300 in binary looks like. here. If you see these bits here, but I have to write it in the opposite way actually. This is from high to low. Tell me how should I write it? 0,
0,
0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Sorry. Tell me guys. I cannot see and write. Just say 0,
0, 0,
1,
1, 1,
1.
0, 1, 0, 1.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's leave. Now I don't need this thing here. Right. So now, how many bits have I used here actually? I've just used 8. I think I have used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bits, right? But
Yes, sir.
this number x in integer number is how many bits wide? It's 32 bits wide, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Right? That means how many extra bits do you have to append to create that value?
Sir,
32 bit value.
23 more.
23 more. So let's do that then. If you guys really want to do this. Is it done? 23 values? Good. So this is how your x will be stored in memory. As this, I mean, if you write x in 32-bit as a 32-bit number, this is its bit representation, right? But inside your computer, you will be storing 1 byte at a time, right? Because your memory is what? Byte addressable memory, isn't it? You will be storing
Yes,
1
sir.
byte at a time. Are you cool with this?
Yes, sir.
Good. So then you just divide these bits, is entire 32 bits into sets of 8 bytes. 8 bits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The first set is done. Right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Third set. Fine. So these are the 4 sets I have. Like this is byte 0, this is byte 1, this is byte 2, this is byte 3. Whatever value this byte gives you, right? Now this particular thing will also have a number, right? If you just take these 8 bytes and just look at this number, what number do you get? You get the number 44 corresponding to this byte.
Okay, sir. Okay.
If you just look at this byte, because you have only 1, right, at the 0th position, and this is what the number 1. That's why you get a 1 here for byte 1. And the other bytes are 0 because there is no 1 here, right? So that's how this thing gets broken up into 4 bytes and you get the 4 bytes in this order. I think it is completely clear now, right?
Yes, sir. It is completely clear.
Good. Good that we have landed up here, because now you will be actually visiting these bytes. Good. Let's keep this number as it is and let's not use any other number. Computer reads it in reverse order always. Khushi. Just remember this. The computer always starts from byte 0, not byte 128 or not byte 32. It starts from byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, byte 4, and it goes up to byte 32. It does not start from byte 32 and goes up to byte 1. Remember that. What you are a human being, right? So you are thinking that's the reverse order. But for computer, the computer might be thinking you are doing it in reverse order. So it's just the perspective. So computer is thinking that byte 0 say leke byte 31 is the actual order, not the reverse order. But you are thinking it's a reverse order because you are used to writing it on paper as high to low, not from low to high. Okay, good. So yeah. But it directly stores the byte 0 as the lower order byte. So it goes normally. Byte 0 as the lowest order byte. Yeah, correct. Byte 0. Okay, enough of that. So now, yeah. So someone was asking me, exactly. Srijan was asking me, I think, how do I get hold of the individual bytes? So, bits. So the whole point of this exercise was to give you a feel of how can you go inside a number, right? You can break it up into bytes and then go inside 1 byte at a time. But then now the natural question to ask here is, similar to the way I have broken a number into bytes or broken a data type into its bytes, can I break a byte into bits? Yes, maybe a Boolean pointer, but sadly, there is no Boolean pointer. Why is there no? Yeah, I'll go to the dirty details. Why not a Boolean pointer? Boolean pointer does not exist, by the way. Why not? Because memory is byte addressable. Remember that stack, shelf, all that example which I gave you guys. There is no way in which you could grab 1 bit from memory. Whenever you go to the shelf, you have to fetch, all that you can fetch is 1 byte at the lowest. You cannot go below that, because memory is byte addressable. It is not bit addressable. If it would have been bit addressable, you could have gone to a bit and then and you could have got that bit. But sadly, you cannot take 1 bit at a time from memory. The lowest that you can go is 1 byte, not below that. Is this clear, Shriyans? Exactly, we can. That's a good example, good analogy, Namratya. We can get a book, but we cannot get 1 page from the shelf. Yeah, the book is 1 byte. We cannot get 1 page. Exactly. But we have to get 1 page. I mean, but now I want to do that. I want to get that. How do I do that? Going back to what Namrat gave as an example, you can go to the page, but then first you have to bring the book with yours. I mean, you have to get the book first. You go to the shelf, you get the book, and then you just look at the page. That's all. I mean, you will be you will be ignoring the other pages. You just look at the page that you want to look at. While fetching, you fetch the entire book, but while looking at, you just look at that individual page. You don't look at all the pages of the book. That is what we are going to do now. We will be reading the value as it is from memory, but then we will be looking at an individual page inside that book. I mean, inside that byte, which I'm calling as a book. Is the premise clear, guys? What we want to do? Yes, no?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes. Can we...
Sir, in the previous example where we were splitting this 300 into its bytes constant values, we didn't actually get the value of byte 1 as 256, right? Because we need to get the value that is being stored by each byte with respect to this x, but we got only 1.
Why would we get 256?
No, I mean to say x value is 300, which means that first byte contains 44. Then second byte value should be given as 256.
Why? Why are you saying 256? What is the reason behind that?
Sir, because x value is 300, it can't exceed, if I remove this 44 from 300, I will have 256 left.
Okay, you should not do it in that way. I mean, that 44 does not come out from that arithmetic. So see, 44 is just a byte, just a value of this byte. That's all. But you should not say it's like minus 300 and then you get 256 for the second byte. It doesn't happen that way.
What I mean to ask is, we were not able to show how much value of that number is being stored by each byte. We are just showing it as another byte containing those 8 bits, and it's those values individually. We are not going in a streak. We are considering them separately as this is a separate number.
Yes, because see, because that number has a bit representation, right? So
I understood that.
all that happens, the computer does not I mean, how do I explain this? So you just take this byte and whatever value this byte gives you, that is the value of the bytes. But then when you put the bits together, then you get 300. We have to put the bits together. Now see, I'll tell you. Yeah, I know what your doubt is. See, let's say if this one would have been together with this, then you are happy, right, with this representation.
Yes, sir.
Right, then this is fine now, because this is what? This is 256, right? This is 256, right?
Yes, sir.
250, because was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 power 8 is 256, fine?
Yes, sir.
Right, and then this rest of these values are 44.
Yes, sir.
Right, but then the problem here is you cannot store a 9-bit value, right, in your memory. It has to be broken into 2 bytes, because your memory can, in one location of your memory, you can store only 1 byte. You cannot store 9 bits, right?
Sir, I want to ask if there is any method to show that the first byte contains value up to 44 and the next byte contains the remaining value, that is even though we are splitting it these integer type data into 4 separate bytes, we need to be able to show the actual value of that number. That is, suppose uh, we are considering 300, right, sir? The first byte contains 44. Then the remaining value which is stored in the byte 1, that is not just 1 with respect to 300. That's what I want to say. So is there a way to show that how much value is being contained by byte 1? Because if we consider bigger numbers, then this thing
For that, I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you. For that, you have to do this basic thing. So what is the biggest value represented by this byte?
maximum is 255.
See, now what you have to do is, if you want to go it in that direction, so what you have to do is, you have to say, you have to do this thing. Was there any byte before this byte? No, right?
No, sir.
So that's why you say 0, because you just add a value to this, whatever this first byte gave you, 44, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, for this byte, was there a byte before it?
Yes, sir.
And what is the biggest value that that byte can give you?
255.
Yeah, so you just add 255. You add 255 to that value. Now, if you come to this byte, what is the biggest value that this byte can give you? If you just take everything together, right?
2 power
511.
16 minus 1. Yes.
What is this?
Okay.
So you just take this value and add that corresponding, then you will get it.
Sir, I think this should be 2 power 16 minus 1, not 511.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, you find it out, man.
Okay.
Something, right?
I understand.
Value will be there. Yeah. So this is how you can get that. I mean, whatever your question was. Do you get it? No, you have to add. You have to just add. You have to add 0 to 44. You have to add 1 to 255. Then, yeah. So whatever that byte value is giving you, you just add whatever the previous bytes could have given you, the maximum value. Because only after that maximum value, you spilled across and came to this byte, right?
Yes, sir.
You guys agree on this, right? Apart from whoever I'm talking to, the other people. Do you agree on this? Because I cannot store anything beyond 255 here, right? So because that's why that's why I got spilled and came to this byte. So that's why you have to add 255 here. And then if you come to this byte, right? Then what is the biggest number I could have represented in these bits, these 2 bytes? This is if everything, all of them would have been 1. And what is that value? It is 2 power 16. Because there are 16 bytes minus 1.
Here it's better to say that it's expanded form of bytes with base 2 power 8 byte values. Like 2 power 0 into first byte value 44 plus 2 power 8 into second byte's value.
Yes, maximum value you mean, right?
Not maximum value, so just value stored in that byte. Like the first byte stored the value 44. 44
Yes.
into 2 power 8 whole power 0, like 44 into 2 power 0 plus 1 into 2 power 16 plus next value 0 into 2 power 1 into 2 power 8 and 0 into 2 power 16.
So that's what you are saying now. I am saying 255, then you are doing 2 power 8. Yeah. So I get it. So what we are doing with the bytes, right? We are giving some addresses, right? We are giving some values as in 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, right? Individual. Whatever we are doing with the individual bits, you are trying to do the same thing with the bytes, right? Whoever I was speaking to right now. See, what he is suggesting is, if you have 8 bytes, how do you give the values to 8 bytes? 1, 2, sorry, if you have 8 bits, how do you give the values to individual bits? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, right? Similarly, if you have 4 bytes, how should you give the values? You should give the first byte maximum value 0, second byte value 256, third byte value is 2 power 16 minus 1, fourth byte value is 2 power 24 minus 1. Okay. So if I say x and y, what is 2 power 16 minus 1? Can someone tell me? I want to write that value. Anyways, let's say 2 power 16 is x and 2 power 24 minus 1 is y. So then if you have these values for the bytes, so your final number is 44 into 0 plus 1 into 256 plus 0 into x plus 0 into y. So this is your final value. Okay. Is this clear, guys? It's a bit involved, I know, but try to spin your head around this, you will get it. Okay, so to keep it simple, as of now, you don't go towards this kind. I mean, I know this discussion was a bit difficult. To keep it very simple, whatever number you have, take it into binary, expand it to the number of bits, that is the 32 bits, if it is an integer, and then break those bits into individual bytes, 88 bits at a time, and whatever the value of each byte gives you, those are the values that will be will be stored in your memory. Yes. So again, coming back to that. So similar to a character pointer, the way we could access the bytes of a big data type, there cannot be a Boolean pointer because the memory is not byte addressable. It's not bit addressable, it's byte addressable. That's why there is no way in which you could have a bit pointer and you could access the individual bits. So to do that, guys, now hold whatever discussions you're having here. So let's not do this. Try to concentrate on what I'm teaching here. You can do the discussion later on. Because if you are only on this point, then we'll never move forward. I have to cover other things as well in today's class. Yeah. So if there is no bit pointer, what do you do? That is our problem. So we read the entire byte, but then we look at individual bits. That's what the solution is. You read the entire byte because you cannot go lower than a byte, right? But then you probe inside individual bits. So this is what I'll be teaching you now, how to go inside each bit of a byte. Okay, so let us take the first one. Are you guys with me? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So so now I don't need all this thing. So please pay pay attention now, because this is going to be a bit difficult. Yeah. Okay, so I have the number 300. I'll be putting it down nicely. And this is how the number 300 is stored in memory, from byte 0 all the way up to byte 3. So now I want to go. So I broke the number 300 into bytes. Now I want to break the bytes into bits. Not break, as in I want to know now. There is no way I could break the byte. Remember that. I cannot break a byte. I have to look into individual bits now. I can only look into the bits. I cannot break it. How do I look into a bit now? Okay, how do I do that? Okay, first let me get hold of the byte, right? How do I get hold of the byte? Okay, so this character will give me the byte value, right? Because I am whatever I have stored it in the byte 0. Okay, so now I want to go. I want to probe what is in byte 0. Sorry, what is in bit 0 of byte. So let me write it properly here. So I'm talking about this now, byte 0. This is byte 0. I want to know what is in bit 0 of byte 0. What is in this position? I mean, by just looking at it, we know there is a 0 now, and we have to find that out. How do we do that? How do we find that out? Okay, so let me create one more. Let me say an integer now, or let me put it as character only. Don't worry. Okay. So now I have just this single byte 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 0. Okay. You guys know AND and OR operators, right? I think you have done it in your school also. So if I just take this particular byte and AND it with a specific number, what should be that number? Tell me. If I put 1 here, and then if I just take this byte as it is, this is my original byte, right, which I'm trying to probe, and then I have to AND it. I am ANDing it with one more byte, one more byte, but I have already decided what is going inside that byte. So this is my decided byte, right? This is my decided value, and this is the byte that I'm trying to probe, byte 0. So if I do this AND operation, what do I get?
Sir, as all non-zero numbers are treated as ones, like true, it outputs the byte 0, value of byte 0.
Exactly. So now simply do this. Now just do this bitwise. I mean, just say, that's why these are called bitwise operators, because now this operator AND, right? This is a bitwise operator. Now this bitwise operator will do the operation with the corresponding bytes, as in pairwise. 0 will pair up with this 0 will pair up with this 0, this one will with this 0, this one will this 0. Now 0 and 1, what is it? 0 and 1, what is it?
0.
0. 0 and 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is the value I get.
Sir,
Yes.
so can you tell what is AND operator?
AND is simple. I mean, you know what is an AND gate, right? What is an AND gate? If both the signals are 1, then you will get an 1. If any of the signals is 0, you will get a what? 0, right?
Okay, sir.
So that is what is happening. Treat this as an AND gate. It is exactly an AND gate. You just take individual bits. These are like individual AND gates here. 0, 0, 0. This is AND gate number 1. 0 and 1 is 0. 0 and 0 is 0. 1 and 0 is 0. 1 and 0. Similarly, all the bits. Take this 0 and
sir,
pair it with the corresponding 0.
Sir, I didn't get where does the AND came from?
Where did the AND came from, right? So
Yes.
I am trying to see that the question was, I have a byte 0 now, right, with me, right? From our previous discussion, I got hold of the individual bytes. Now I want to go inside a bit of the byte, right? But I cannot break the byte, because you cannot break a byte. All that you can do is you can just look at an individual bit. You can look at it. You cannot break the byte.
Sir, like can't we do? I mean, like we take the individual value of the byte and then convert it to like binary and store it individual letter in an array.
Tell me what you are saying again. Take a
like
byte.
We can take individual bytes and then that integer value can be converted into binary and individually it can be stored in an array.
How do you store it? How do you know if I say byte 0, then how do you know in 5th position what bit it is? Is it a 1 or a 0? How do you know that?
I mean, like say in 300 the byte 0 is containing 44. Like okay.
Yes.
So we can make a loop, and in that divisible by 2. I mean, the number if divisible by, like the whole procedure of converting from decimal to binary and storing individual byte to an array size.
I get it. You are saying, yeah, his approach is also fine. It's good. So he's saying that just take the number 44, because you know that byte 0 is going to contain 44. So now just convert 44 to binary and store each of the bits into an array. That's what you are saying, right?
Yeah, sir.
Then you have completely eliminated the use of bitwise operators here. You are not even doing that. You are just converting 44 to the binary representation, and you're storing each of the individual bits in an integer array, maybe.
Yeah.
But actually, what did you do? Actually, you have taken a number and you have created an integer array of 8 bytes. Of 8 integers, right? And in each integer, you are storing just a single bit. Sorry. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, sir.
What you are doing is you are taking the number, you are converting it to binary, and each binary value, like 1 or 0, you are storing it in an integer. You are not storing it in a bit, right? You are storing it in an integer. Because the bits are stored in an integer array, right? So you are wasting like 99% of the memory, right? It's a waste. First of all, it's a waste, and second thing, it's not efficient. Because you have to write a loop for doing that, isn't it? You have to write a loop for converting that number to binary and then store the binary values into an array. It's not at all efficient. This is the most efficient thing to do, right? You just take this number and you just end it with one more number.
I mean, end with what?
And it as in
Okay,
and operator.
it. Okay.
So end it with one more number, and that number that you end it with, you know what that number is going to be. And how do you know what that number is going to be? I mean, that number is named decided here. How do you know what that number is going to be? Because you will be setting a 1 at the position where you want to find out the value of the bit, 1 or 0. Because we wanted to know the position of the first, we want to know the value of the bit at the first position, right? That's why we have set a 1 here. And everything else is 0 now.
Okay, sir, I get it. What you're doing here. So fine, completely fine.
Right? Now tell me, if I want to know what is the value of the bit of byte 0 at the 5th position, how should this change now? How this decided value will change?
Like at 5th position, you will enter 1.
Yeah, tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, 4th position I should have said, because there is a 1 here. Yeah. So now if I put this as a decided value, then what do I get? I get, yeah, if now what this value will be, tell me what this value would be. Now just do an AND operation here, right?
You asked for the digit at 5th position, right?
No, let's say 4th position, not 5th position. Let's say 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4th. Right? Now tell me what is the result going to be quickly.
Or one at 4th positions.
Okay. So what is this value? This value is not 1 actually. What is this value? It is 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So this value is, I think it's an 8. Yeah. So the result is 8. But this is greater than 0, right? So that means for the 4th position has a 1 there. So all that you have to do is whatever bit you want to look for inside a byte, you just set a 1 there on the decided value. And now I am using a technical concept. This decided value is called a mask. Yeah, now I will tell you why is it called a mask. When you wear a mask, what do you see? Tell me, how does a mask feel like? Your mask has some holes and right on your eyes and over your nose or over your lips, right? And then the rest everything is black, or rest everything is filled with some material, isn't it? No, it's suffocating. I agree, but then I'm talking about those masks which you used to wear for fun, not in this pandemic. Those masks used to look like what? You had some holes, right? And then some places where there are no holes, and the holes were always on the eyes or on the nose. This is what a mask also means in computers. Here the holes mean 0 and the 1 means, maybe you could call 1 as the holes and zeros as the material of the mask. Only wherever you say 1 and that particular bit from wherever you are doing the AND with, right, that particular bit will be visible to you wherever you are putting a 1. That is wherever there is a hole in the mask. So just think of a mask like this. Mask is only to get the required part out of a number, out of a byte. Yeah. So now if I want to know what is at the let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th position, what is the bit value at the 6th position? I just say 1 here and I get the corresponding 1 here. That's it. But this will be a different value, but still it will be a non-zero value. It will be 32, I think. Yeah. Okay, now is this clear? How do I now, let's put this to use now. Let's put it in values now. Sorry, in a program. Okay. So all that you have to do is you have to say byte 0 and now you give the corresponding mask value. Okay. Now tell me what is the mask value for this. Now you take the binary value of this. Sorry, now you take the decimal value of this byte. What is it? 32, exactly. So you just say and 32. Or you could, to make it nice and clear, so you could say mask and say 32, and then you do with a mask, right? What will be the value? What will be the value containing? Tell me now. What will be this value? The character, this one, this value. What will be the? Yeah, now it will contain 32. 1. Not 1. I mean, I did this, right? You just do a bitwise AND here, and then you get 1 at the 5th position. This number is 32, right? Not 1. But then you just write a logic that if value is greater than 0, then print 1, else print 0. Let's see. See, I get a 1. Now, if I want to check what is at the 4th position, what do I set here? Quickly.
Straight.
16.
Sir, I mean, wait, 0, I mean, value is in character, no? So 0 would...
Then character, you can treat it as a number only, na? Character is what?
No, sir, actually 0 would have an ASCII value of 48, no? So it will be always be greater than 0, no?
No, when you are converting it in this way, right, it will automatically take it as an integer and do the conversion. It will compare it like that.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes. So yeah, I think the 4th position is 0, 1, 2, 3. The 4th position is 8. Yeah. See, now you get a 1 here. Because the fourth one was 1, 2, 3, 4 was 1, right? So now let us look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. What is at the 7th position? What do I put here? If I want
64.
to
128.
64.
64.
Yeah, 64. Sir.
What should I get? I got a 0.
Okay.
So now using this mask, you can find out the value of any bits inside your byte. Just set the corresponding mask, that's all.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding the data types. Like
Yes.
char star p equal to, we have typecasted and x into char star, right? So like what is being changed? Like what does that statement mean?
You should have asked this when I was discussing, right? That part. Anyway, so this is what is it doing is you previously without the cast, right? Without the cast, is this going to work without the cast? First, tell me that.
No, because right hand side is integer and left
Exactly,
hand
right hand side is integer and left hand side is a character, right? On top of that, it's a character pointer. It's
Yes,
like
sir.
it should be storing the address of a integer, not a character, right? That's the issue first. Now, if I convert it to a character pointer, what it says is, what it does is whatever address that p is pointing to, right? I have changed the type according to my wish. Actually, I don't care what kind of address was that before. I mean, previously it was an integer address, right? Because it was storing an integer value.
Yes, sir.
By doing this explicit casting, what I have done is I have overridden that. I mean, I have just negated that. I mean, it's like I have just rub it off. And I have just said, I don't care what kind of data it was storing. I mean, what kind of data was that this address storing? Now it will be pointed to by a pointer, which will be storing an byte address. It's not going to store an integer address. It's going to store a byte address.
Yes, sir. So like the value stored is integer, right? So what will happen to that?
So that will be as it is. I mean, but the only thing that is there is the handle that I have on that byte. The handle will treat that value as a byte, not as an integer.
Okay,
that
so
value
like,
is there as it is. Now, see, it's something like this. Wait, I'll tell you. So let's say you have placed. I mean, there are. So you have these 4 memory locations, right? And these 4 memory locations together contribute towards an integer.
yes, sir.
And how do you access those 4 memory locations? You just say X and you get hold of all the 4 memory locations. But now you have installed one more path in your program to access those values. What is that extra path? That path is the pointer path, right? Using a pointer.
Yes, sir.
Now, if the pointer was an integer pointer, right, then you have not changed anything actually. If you are trying to access the value of that integer pointer using the star operator, you would still get hold of all the 4 bytes.
Yes, sir.
Right? But now you have modified that path. Now you have done some kind of alterations with that path. Now that path is not going to, whenever you say star p, that path is not going to fetch you all the 4 bytes. It will just fetch you the value of the first byte. Why? Because you have altered the path to be an character, not an integer.
Yes, sir. So like when we do star p, the value given is also like a character type or integer type.
The value will be given, yeah, whatever the byte is storing, it will give you as a value. But then you could always see a character as an integer also, na?
Yes, sir.
I mean, integer and characters are the same, right?
Yes, sir. So like instead of char byte 0, can we just write int byte 0?
Here, you mean this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, again, if you do this, there is an issue here, right? Because this pointer is not an integer pointer, right? Sorry, it is a character pointer, right?
Yes, sir.
So what will it give you? It will give you the first byte, right? And then you have to again do a conversion here, right? I mean, that's why don't do this. I mean, just put it there. Okay, for you, I think you guys are confused here. So let me just put it as integers. If that's what suits you. Again, this thing will also work. But then I wanted to use character because I want to limit the discussion to a byte only, because we have been talking with bytes, right? So that's why I have put a character intentionally here. But these things will also work. All that you have to do is here you have to change. I mean, since we were dealing with one byte, now this entire thing, right? Whenever you do this star p, what will happen is, what was stored in star p? Tell me. This byte, right? This value was stored, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now what will happen is, because of this line, what will happen is because of this line, byte 0 will be a 32-bit value, right?
Yes, sir.
It will be stored something like this. Now there will be all zeros here. 32 zeros will be here. Because what you have done is you have taken this and stored it in a byte, right? You have stored it in a bigger data form. Because, and that's why all the extra things has to be padded with zeros.
But
It's
sir, won't it be like 300 only, because the address of x has already been saved, na? Like these 4 bytes are fixed for the x, like.
Exactly. But then what did I tell you just now? When you do a star pointer was what? It was pointing to a byte now, right? It will only give you the value of the first byte. It cannot go beyond the first byte. It cannot access all the 3 bytes following.
No, actually, I mean that it gave us the address of the first byte, and when we transfer to the other 3 bytes, then the other 3 bytes are already written now by x. So why are they all 0?
I think, yeah, you're getting confused here. You're confused on this line, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why I told you at the beginning, and these things are going to get really complicated. So I'll try to explain it in one more way. Wait. Just look at this line here. So what have you done here using this line? Your problem is you didn't understand this line. That's why you are getting confused with this line as well. So what did this line do? I mean, so you have 4 bytes in memory, right? Previously, when p was an integer pointer, right? Previously, when p was an integer pointer, sorry, right? Then this p was pointing to this byte, right? The first byte. Do you agree? When it was an integer pointer.
Yes, sir.
And then when after it was pointing to this, if I do this operation after it is a character pointer and I have made it point to the first byte, if I do the pointer p, that means it will give me the value of all the 4 bytes together.